Alaikum wa rahmatullah. We are live, but just give us a couple minutes because we're just going live on YouTube and on Instagram as well. Let's do a quick introduction. To my left is, inshallah, our future alim, a leader, a beacon of light for our ummah, someone who's going to sort out all of our ummah's problems and bring everyone together. Mikhail Muhammad. Say salam alaikum.
Hi, assalamu alaikum.
MashaAllah. Where's your hat, by the way? You have this lovely white hat. And then on my right here is Princess Eliza. Say salam alaikum.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum. MashaAllah. Okay, none of that. Now, a minute ago, this girl could not stop talking. She was so excited. She's like, oh, daddy this, daddy that. And then, oh, wait. Is it not live yet? I think it's live. It's saying it's live. Okay, we'll just wait till all the other platforms are up and running as well, and then we'll get started, inshallah. And also my Q&A. So the phone number to text is 07958 183 184.
Ignore him.
Ugh. In a minute, we're just waiting for everything to go live. Are all the platforms live yet?
Instagram is and YouTube is.
Alright, so we are live. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah to my YouTube viewers and to everyone at Instagram. So we are live, alhamdulillah. It's just Facebook. I just want to test it. Is it not live? Okay, 1 second. I'm just going to have to redo that.
It's planned to go live, but it's not.
Fine, I think I'm supposed to click something. What am I supposed to click? No? Is it not working?
Give me a second.
It's saying we're live. I'm confused. Alright, give me just 1 second, guys, and then we'll begin. Get your kids' questions ready. I hope your children are tuned in with you, inshallah. Guys, look, you're going to see yourself up on the big screen in just a minute. So get your kids ready. I'm just going to start a brand new live stream on Facebook because that seemed to have crashed for some reason. Let's close this. And let's open this one. There we go.
Mommy, the screen isn't showing us.
I'm trying.
It's
Connecting to the TV.
It's okay.
yeah, we'll try this time. Is this the right microphone? I think so. Real tight. You can't. 3, 2, 1, and I think we're live this time. Let's see if this works this time. Bismillah, 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 bismillah. Oh, look who's up there now. Come on, sit next to me. There you go. So the kids are excited. They get to watch themselves on the big screen TV. And now we're going live. Yes, and we are live on Facebook finally. I set that on automatic Facebook. Thanks a lot. Totally crashed that one. But can I get a quick sound check and a mic check as well, please? Let's see.
I couldn't hear it.
All right, so there we go.
Hey, me.
Look who's on there. Look who's on there as well. Assalamu alaikum, Facebook viewers. Whoever's tuned in, can you guys please let me know you can hear us well and you can see us well as well. I've got to my left there, Mikhail, and to my right, I've got Eliza. So are you guys ready with your questions?
Yeah.
You ready to give me questions? So you guys ready for questions?
I
But
got a question.
you got a question, but wait, not yet, not yet. I have to do an introduction first.
How come it's doing the actions?
That's not important. Let's focus on what we're doing. So I'm going to give you 2-3 minutes. Alexa, look at me. I'm going to do 2-3 minutes. I'm going to do a quick introduction. Okay? I'll do a quick introduction, and then we'll get straight to the questions, inshallah. Make you get closer. So, okay, so a quick introduction, guys. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
Sallallahu alayhi wasallam.
Ah, everyone, what do we say?
Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So there is another youngster who's going to come. Come a little closer. You're getting out of the camera shot. All right, so the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, what did he do? Alayhi salatu wa salam, he called upon the Sahaba and he said to them, he said to the Sahaba, ask me and I will answer you. Ask me and I will answer you. And the Sahaba were kind of like overwhelmed. They're overwhelmed. Yeah, I know. You're going to do this all day. I know you're dying to ask a question. Just almost there, almost there. So the Prophet ﷺ asked the Sahaba, said, ask me a question, I'll answer you. And they went quiet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he asked again, he said, ask me and I'll tell you. And they went quiet. Can you understand this? Try to imagine this scenario. You're not with just anybody. So the Prophet ﷺ asked them to ask him a question. He was ready to answer them a question. And they were nervous. They were overwhelmed. And they were quite, how can I put this? They were quite shy about it. And, well, he asked again, ask me and I will tell you. And they went quiet again. So while they're sitting there quiet, like, who's going to ask? Who's going to ask? Who's going to ask the question? No one's asking a question. Hang on. And while they were all sitting there with the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, while they were all like awestruck, you know, like starstruck, shy, no one asked a question. Guess what happened? This is called Hadith Jibra'il. What is it called?
Hadith Jibra'il.
You can't just totally relax. Everyone's watching you. You can't think no one's looking at you. Everyone's looking at you, so you got to be on your best and stop shaking. Now, what do you think happened when he kept asking them and they went quiet? Guess what happened next, Eliza? Should I tell you? Should I tell you? Yeah? Okay, what happened next was a man came from nowhere. Somebody no one recognized. Now, Umar radiallahu anhu and the other Sahaba described this man as he had jet black hair. And his whites were white, pure white. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, his name was Omar.
No, Umar radiallahu anhu, the Sahaba was telling a story. He said, when the Prophet said, ask me, and nobody would ask, a man came out of nowhere. Just a man showed up. They didn't know who he was.
But I thought a man who came to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he traveled so long and his clothes didn't even have a stain on it.
You're right. That is exactly the hadith I'm talking about. The man showed up out of nowhere. They didn't know who he was. Umar described him as, I don't know who he was, but his hair was jet black, his white clothes were white, and they had no marks of traveling. Now, why did he say he had no marks of traveling? And why did he say, but he also looked very well dressed? There are two things. If he is very well dressed and clean, then he must be one of the nobles, right? This is back in those days. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if he was wearing complete white and very clean clothes, and he looked sharp and his hair was beautiful, then he must be one of the nobles. But he said, but none of us recognized him, so he couldn't have been one of the nobles. But since we did not recognize him, then he must be a traveler, right? If he's not from here, he must be from somewhere else, right? So that's why he said, but we did not notice any marks on him, as if he was traveling. What does that tell you? What does that say? What does that say? So one, he was dressed really well, but they said none of us recognized him, which means he wasn't one of the nobles that they knew. But at the same time, so if they didn't know him, he must have come from somewhere. But he had no marks of travel on him at all. So this description, at that time, and for 1,000 years plus, Arabs who speak the Arabic were mind-boggled. Like, what does he mean then? That doesn't make any sense. He's not from here, but he's not from there either. That is what he basically said. Wow. Aaron, come here. Come here, Aaron. I'm going to wait for you. Come here, darling. Everyone wants to see you and your sword. Come here. Don't sit on my hat. You sat on my hat. I said don't sit on my hat. All Aaron's with us now. Excellent. So what I was saying was, he's not from here, and he's not from anywhere else either. Right? He's not from here, and he's not from anywhere else either. So where is he from then? So now the man shows up, and he sits in front of the Prophet ﷺ, right? So the man shows up, he walks into the crowd, and he sits right in front of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, putting his knees against his knees. And he said that the man put his hands on the knees of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. So he sat in front of him, and he put his knees on his knees, but he put his hands on the Prophet's legs, on the Prophet's knees. And he asked him a question. Do you know what question he asked?
No.
Yeah,
wait.
What was the first question?
Teach me about Islam.
First he said, what is Islam? Teach me of Islam. So the Prophet ﷺ, he answered his question and he gave him the 5 what? 5 what?
5
Pillars.
Pillars of Islam.
Yeah. And do you know what they are?
Fajr.
Not salah. 5 prayer times. No, 5 pillars of Islam. What are they? What's the first one?
Salah.
No, yeah, second one. That's good. That's number 2. Salah, the prayer, is the second one. Zakat is the third one.
What's the first one?
What's the first
So,
one? Saum, fasting, is the fourth one.
La.
La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. Shahada, kalima wahida. So this is first. Hajj is the last one, 5th one. Very good, Aaron, mashallah. So these are the 5 pillars of Islam. So what did the man say once he taught him the 5 pillars? He said, Sadaqt. And the Sahaba said, Umar radiallahu anhu said it was strange. The one who was asking the question was confirming the truth of the one who was answering. So when the Prophet answered him, he said, you have spoken the truth. Sadaqt. Number 2, right? So number 2. That's the first one. The second question he asked him was what?
what is Ramadan?
No, he said, what is Iman? What is Iman? First?
Wait,
No. Imana. Imana. He's right, because Imam is a man. So he's asking about Iman. So he said, what is Iman? So what is Islam? 5 pillars of Islam. And then what is Iman? And Iman he described as the 6 pillars of faith. Belief in Allah, belief in His books, belief in the angels, belief in the prophets of Allah, belief in the Akhirah, belief in Jannah and Jahannam. Qadr wa Qada and Jannah and Jahannam. So we had the 6 pillars of Iman being taught there. And then the man responded. Umar said, the man then said, Sadaqt. You have spoken the truth. Again he said, Sadaqt, which is kind of strange, right? So he said, Sadaqt, you've spoken the truth. Then finally the third question he asked. What was the third question he asked, Mickey? He said, so tell me, what is ihsan? What is ihsan? And so the Prophet ﷺ said to him, ihsan is to worship Allah as though you can see Him. Can we see Allah, Eliza?
No.
Can we see Allah?
No.
No. But Allah can see us and see everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Everyone's looking at you, making really funny faces. Yeah, I thought you might want to realize. I don't think you realize. So we have ihsan answered. He said ihsan is to worship Allah as though you can see Him, even though you cannot. But you walk around and you're walking around your life as if you can see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you're worshiping Allah as though you can see Him, but you can't. But you know He is watching you all the time, isn't He? Allah is watching you all the time. Is there any time where Allah cannot watch you? Is there any place where Allah cannot see you?
No.
No. There is no place you can hide.
Even if you hide under a roof, even if you hide under the ground.
Everywhere Allah is fully aware of every single thing, and you cannot.
Then how can Allah?
Save the questions. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can see everything. So worship Allah as though you can see Him, even though you can't, but knowing Allah sees you all the time. Right? Is that right? Okay. So almost there. These guys are so eager about questions. So then he said, Sadaq. The man said, Sadaq. The man said, Sadaq. In a minute. So he said, you've spoken the truth. And Umar radiallahu anhu said, this is strange. Isn't it strange? He's asking a question and he is confirming if he's telling the truth or not. Isn't that strange? Yes? Yeah, that's pretty strange, isn't it? So he said it was a bit weird. Now, the man left. He got up and he walked away. Right? So now when the man got up and walked away, what did the Prophet ﷺ say after that? Do you know? Did he tell them who he was?
No.
He did. He told us who the man was. He said, do you know who that man was? He asked the companions, do you know who that man was? And the companions said, Allah and his Rasul know best. Allah and his messengers know best. And when he said that, the Prophet ﷺ said, he was Jibreel alayhi salam. He came to teach you your religion. He came to teach you your religion and ask questions when you would not. So there's a lesson here. There's a few lessons here. There's a few lessons. Lesson one is the Prophet ﷺ is saying that the man taught us lessons. And we all learned from it. But while we learned from it, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says, the man was asking questions when you wouldn't. You were too shy to ask. But who was the man? He said that was Jibreel alayhi salam. He came in the form of a man. That he was in best perfect clothes and no one recognized him, but yet he didn't have signs of travel, which were all signs that this is strange. This is very strange. And the Prophet ﷺ confirmed it, that it was strange. It was the Archangel Gabriel. He came to them in the form of a man. So all of the companions at that time who were sitting with him, they got to witness Gabriel asking these questions. Now the lesson here is that you can sit in a classroom and teach people. Mickey, this is the best part. So the Prophet ﷺ is saying that was Jibreel alayhi salam. So those Sahaba saw the angel Gabriel in the form of a man, and he said that he came to teach you when you wouldn't ask questions. Now, having said that, the Prophet ﷺ is teaching us this. Okay, having said that, he's teaching us that there's more than one ways to teach. How do teachers teach in classrooms? They stand there talking, right? Right? And sometimes a teacher will ask questions. Sometimes a teacher will ask questions. You see? Oh, no, what happened? So sometimes a teacher will ask questions, and other times a teacher will just talk at you. So Jibreel alayhi salam was teaching us that one of the best ways to teach people the deen is by asking questions. Alright? Does that make sense? Alright, so now that is the introduction. So now we can ask questions. Who's ready with their first question? Mikhail and Eliza, I know you're ready with your questions, but I know there's a few people online asking as well. So get your kids ready, guys. Whoever's watching, have your kids tune in, and we can answer your questions, inshallah. Eliza, have you got your question ready? Or Mickey, do you want to go first? Oh no, what happened? Did you get pinched too?
It's Eliza's question, yeah? Go on,
This
Eliza.
part right here. Sorry,
This
Let her sit next to
this
next to
question
yeah,
was
sit there. Sit next to me. Let's do. Get ready with your question, because Mickey's going first, and then you can ask your question next.
wait. Well, this question was from Eliza.
Let her sit.
Okay, don't ask Eliza's question. Ask your own question. Eliza will read her own.
Let Eliza go first.
Okay, let's let Eliza go first. Here you go. Let Eliza ask the question, buddy. There you go. What's your question, Eliza? This first one. What does it say?
Nice and loud, Eliza.
Does Allah live inside a different planet? Oh no, you still. There you go. That's a good question, Eliza. Did you think about that all by yourself? Is that all your question? You thought about it. Does Allah live on another planet? Does Allah live on another planet? Wow. Okay. The kids ask the most incredible questions, mashallah, because the fitrah is pure and they're not tainted by all the things that distract us in the world, and they have this incredible imagination. What we call imagination, but really it's the fitrah, because they were just in another world before they were born, as we described yesterday, the journey of the soul. So how do I answer this question? Does Allah live? Does Allah live on another planet? Let's bring this down for you guys a little bit. So little Eliza's asking, does Allah live on another planet? The answer is, well, the Prophet ﷺ asked the little girl. He asked this little girl, where is Allah? And the little girl answered the Prophet ﷺ. Do you know what he said? Sorry, the little girl said, he is in the heavens. Fisama. She pointed up in the sky. Look. She said, Fisama. Where is Allah? Where is Allah, Mickey?
In the sky!
In the sky. So Allah is in the sky. Now we know Allah says in the Quran, Ar-Rahman alil arshi istawa. So the merciful is above his throne. Where is Allah's throne? In the sky. Where is Allah's throne?
In the top sky.
The toppest sky, the highest sky. And he's above the highest sky. Allah says in the Quran, there are 7 skies, 7 heavens, and there are 7 earths. There's an earth between each heaven. And the 7th heaven is the highest one. What that means, we don't know. We've never been there. We just know.
On the 7 earths in different universes.
I don't know. It might be the same earth with 7 layers. I really don't know. It might be 7 different planets. I really don't know.
Because if there are 7 different earths, that means there must be 7 different universes.
It could be. It could be 7 different universes. That's
if there were 7 different universes, we could be from the 3rd universe.
Why the 3rd one?
I don't really know.
I think you're right, because if there was different planets and universes, we would be in the middle. Because Allah talks about the higher earth and he talks about the lowest earth. Sorry, the Prophet ﷺ. Rasul ﷺ speaks about the higher earth and the lower earth. We don't know what that means though. That's quite incredible that you think like that. Because I thought like that when I was a kid. I was thinking maybe that means life on other planets. I don't know.
Mickey go.
That's Mickey's turn. Do you want him to ask the question?
Yeah.
But Eliza, wait, did I answer your question correctly? So Allah does not live on a planet. Allah creates planets. Allah does not need anything to live.
Eliza, Allah isn't in existence. Allah is out of existence. He isn't on a planet.
That's a bit of a dangerous thing to say, Mikhail. Should I tell you why?
Why?
Because you're right, and a lot of scholars have said that. And other scholars say the opposite. They say Allah does exist, just not the kind of existence we understand. Because if you say he's not in existence, then you're saying Allah does not exist. It's a dangerous one. But I know what you mean. Allah is not in a place that that he created. Allah is not in a place that he created. Allah is not inside of a planet. Does that make sense?
We've got a question here on Instagram. So Suhaib wants to know, why are all the prophets boys?
So Haib wants to know, why are all the prophets boys? I love this question. I really do. Because a lot of women always ask this question about women mainly, feminist groups and other people who think Islam is unfair to women, etc. A woman can do what a man can do. I'm going to first answer, what's his name? Suhaib, right? Suhaib, young Suhaib, mashallah. What an incredible question. Now, I got a little bit of an adult answer there, and I'm wondering if I should say it today or save it for adult time later. But you know what? I'll just answer Suhaib's question first. So what was his question? Were you not listening? What did Suhaib ask just now? What was Suhaib's question?
Something about the prophet.
And why are they all men? How come there's no women prophets? Are there any women prophets?
No.
How come?
I think I know. Because
Eliza, why do you think there's no women prophets? You don't know? That's a good answer. I don't know is a very good answer. I'm just going to keep this here, Mickey, because you keep moving away, so you're not going to be in the camera, so there's no point in me swinging it around every time you go lay down that way. Nobody's going to be able to watch you. So go and tell me. Do you know, or should I just answer?
I don't know.
Yeah, I thought so. So I don't know is 80% of answers of all the scholars. People have a lot of knowledge. Boy, I got all this glitter on me. Is this from Princess Eliza?
Yes.
Where's all this glitter coming from? Have you got glitter all over you?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get to it. So why are all the prophets men? Well, okay. So I'm going to ask a question. Imagine there's a puddle of mud on the floor. And everybody knows this in every culture, right? There's a puddle of mud on the floor and you're walking with your wife. Should your wife or your sister or your daughter, should she step into the mud?
No.
No. So a man will take a blanket or a piece of wood or something and put it on top, right? Or a bridge to make her walk over the mud, correct? Okay. So, could you imagine that the other way around? A man walking and there's mud on the floor, and she says, wait, 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 sir. And she puts her scarf down or something so he can walk over it. That's just not chivalrous. It's not honorable. It's not beautiful. That's not nice, is it? We should be nice to women, right? We should be nice to girls. So, as a leader, you have to take a lot of flack, as they say. As a leader, there's a lot of difficulties for women. A lot of difficulties. Can she do it? Of course she can. She's just as good as a man. Sometimes women are better than men. But should she do it? Should a woman do it? Should a woman do things like that? Should a woman have to go wrestle a cow or work hard with her hands? Should she? Is she biologically designed in a way that she works like men? Like men are the donkeys of the earth. We are the animals that serve our women, our families. We're like the horses. We're like the steed. We're out there serving. So if a woman does that, is it befitting? It's not befitting the beauty of a woman. So the main reason why is because people gather around that kind of situation. And men can be at the forefront of those kind of situations. Whereas a woman is not befitting. Can she? Sure she can. But Allah taught us it's not befitting. So the prophethood is leadership. And the prophet has to be an open book. The prophet of Allah is an open book to everyone. And a woman, she shouldn't be open to everyone because she's a treasure to her family, to her husband, to her brother, to her mom, to her sisters, to her daughters. So the main reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose man is because men are given a leadership role and a woman is given a different leadership role. And they are different roles in life. I hope that answered your question, Sahib. On another, yeah, it's just a matter of people thinking prophets it could never be a woman. No, it could be a woman. There's absolutely no reason why it can't be a woman. It can't be. Is mommy what? Which one is mommy's question?
No, I don't have questions. There's another question
Yeah,
here. Why are dogs haram and why are they not allowed to smell us?
Oh, yes, we have a big fitna. Do you like doggies? I like doggies. They're really cute. I like dogs. I had a part German Shepherd, part wolf. Amazing animal. His name was Bear. I miss my dog. He was amazing, and he got a bit too much. Very strong. I was the only one that it trusted, and Bear trusted, and he was. Anyways, long story short, one day I come home, and I said to my dad, I was calling out to the garden. I was like, Bear, Bear. And my dad comes out with gloves on. He's in the garden. He's gardening. He comes out, ignores me twice. I'm like, Bear, Bear. And he was a little annoyed with me that day, I think. And then finally he stopped, and my dad looked at me and he goes, no more Bear. They got rid of my dog. But he was in the garden, and the reason why he got rid of him is because he was messing things up. So why are dogs haram? As an animal, a dog is not haram. But to have it in your house is not allowed in Islam. Because your house is a place where you pray, your house is a place where you eat, your house is a place where your family are, and things should be clean. Cleanliness is next to God. So a dog inside the house is not clean. So this is the number one reason why it's not allowed. And the bark of a dog is something so annoying that the angels leave. So whoever house has a dog barking inside, the malaika will not come to collect the deeds, the good deeds of that family. So, do you like dogs? You just shut up. Do you like dogs? I like dogs. I think they're pretty cool. But can we have one?
No.
Yeah, you can. But can you have one inside the house? No. You cannot have one inside the house. You can have a dog. You can have a dog in the garden or outside. Now, the second part of the question was, why can it not sniff you? Why can't it smell you? Okay. So, a dog is always licking his nose. Like, imagine my hand is the tongue. And the dog just licks like this. He licks like this. So, the saliva of a dog is full of so much impure bacteria. I mean, it's protection for the dog because the saliva on his tongue protects him. The bacteria kill off things he's going to be sniffing and licking, disgusting things out there. So dogs have a purpose, isn't it? They can sniff things miles away. They can save lives. They can work in the field. They can do a lot of amazing things. Dogs are a man's best friend, as they say. They are amazing animals and creatures. But their nose and their tongue and their saliva is extremely impure and unhealthy for human beings. And for this reason, when your clothes gets urine or something on it, you can't pray in them. And if a dog licks your clothes, you cannot pray in them. So if a dog's nose sniffs you, your clothes, and he gets the wetness on your clothes, now you have to wash your clothes to pray in them. Because when we pray, we make ablution and we're in a state of complete purity. So a dog, the nose of a dog right here, you are not doggies, are you? Are you doggies? Can you be doggies? Can you pretend you're a doggy? Go ruff ruff. No? Ruff ruff. So the nose of a dog is wet because he's licking it. So that's why you don't let him sniff you. But if he sniffs just your hand, you just go wash your hands. That's fine. So if you pet a dog, go wash your hands. People say, does that break your wudu? No, it doesn't. So if a dog sniffs your hand, you go wash your hands. Make wudu again if you like.
So what about guard dogs?
I just said that. You could have dogs as a dog that works in the field, a dog that protects your house, a dog that serves a certain specific task, etc. What's wrong with that?
Okay, we have another question. Do you want to read one of your
Is
ones?
that YouTube?
Yeah.
That's pretty good quality.
Can you read one of them?
Okay, which one? Which one should we read? Number 2? Number 3? Okay, you read it. Go on. Your turn.
Can you survive on the day of judgment?
Can you survive on the day of judgment? You can. You can survive on the day of judgment. That was a big topic. Wow, you know what? You're probably thinking, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking day of judgment, fire, avalanche, earthquake, snakes and monsters, bridge falling off, people chasing for deeds. So can you survive it? Yeah? Mm-hmm. The answer is yes, a believer can. A believer can survive the day of judgment. And Allah promises safety for the believer, and Allah promises success and shade and comfort to the believer on the day of judgment.
Oopsie.
What happened? Get back up
But I
here.
thought the day of judgment the sun's going to explode.
The sun will, it's a bit of a long story about the sun on the day of judgment, but yeah, the day of judgment, look up there, Elijah. See, look, you fell off the chair. You're not up there anymore. The day of judgment, the sun will be over our head, and there'll be no shade on that day, and everyone will sweat, and everyone will be scared. But it's a very horrible day. But people who are good, and they make tawbah quickly, if they make mistakes, everybody makes mistakes. But if they make mistakes, who are the most beloved to Allah? Wa khairul khata'in. The most beautiful people who make mistakes, at-tawbun, are people who realize they made a mistake, and they say sorry quickly. And they make up what they did bad. They go and make it up to their family, and so on and so forth.
Okay, we have another question. How old do kids need to be to start praying?
What do you think? How old do you think kids should be to start praying?
About like 8, 7.
That's about right. About 6, 7 years old. You should start, they'll pray with you from earlier, but about 6, 7 years old is time that they start, regular. But the deeds will be written down against them from puberty. So they really should have the prayer from 6 to 12, 6 years, 5, 6 years to make it a habit that this is normal. I cannot live without it. So when they get to 12, I'll give you an example. How many adults don't pray sometimes and they miss their prayers? They know they have to. They know the prayer is important. They know they must. They want to. And they keep missing it because they never had it as a habit in their bones. So it's not that we're programming children to pray. They will pray anyway. They will want to pray like everyone does. The only difference is that it'll be easier on them when they get older because you're helping them create the habit of prayer. So from 6 to 10, 11, but then when they hit puberty, they're accountable. So from the age of about 5, 6, you should get them to be 5 daily prayers. Don't start expecting it by the age of 5, Starts at the age of 5 and work your way up until they're about 10 or 12 and so on and so forth. Sit back a little bit, relax.
Okay. Do you want to ask another question?
Eliza, another question? Do you have another question? How about this one?
That's happened.
Is that Aaron? But he ain't here, so Eliza's asking it.
Eliza got the one that.
Where did he go?
Read the ones that says E. Eliza's.
Oh, right. Where's the E? I can barely see it. I didn't put my glasses on.
Mickey, why don't you read it out?
Okay.
No, tell her, let her read it. Which one's Eliza's? This one. There you go. So this one's yours, Eliza. What does that say?
What?
She knows her question. It's her question.
Nice
Say it
and
properly. No one understands you. Say it again.
Nice and loud.
Say it again. Come on. You want to? What does Allah look like? Okay. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala The best description I can give today is that the Prophet ﷺ went to Al-Mi'raj. Do you know what Al-Mi'raj? Al-Mi'raj is? Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj. Al-Isra was the trip, the journey, the night journey from Mecca to Jerusalem.
What's
And-
Jerusalem?
Jerusalem is a holy city in Palestine. So Jerusalem, from there, the Prophet ﷺ went up into the sky, into the heavens, to the highest heaven, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he met with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam lived in
Palestine.
Yeah, Palestine.
That's right. Many prophets lived in Palestine. Many prophets of Allah lived in Palestine. So Jerusalem is a holy city. And from there, the Prophet ﷺ ascended to the heavens, and there he spoke to Allah Azza wa Jal. Okay? He spoke to Allah Azza wa Jal, and he was asked by the companions, can you describe it to us? And he said that it was Nur ala Nur. Nur ala Nur.
What does that mean?
Means light upon light. So all we know about what Allah looks like is it's light upon light, and we haven't seen Allah, and we will see him on the day of judgment. This is why when we go to Jannah, you can have all the sweets you want, you can have all the toys you want, you can have all the food and everything you want, you can have your family, everything. You can have everything you want in Jannah. But the thing that Allah is going to be most happy about, or the thing that we all are going to be most happy about, is when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows us his face. Does that make sense? Yeah? So what does Allah look like? We don't know until we see him, inshallah. Alright, can you live on the day of judgment? Yeah, we did that one.
My one.
Okay, go on.
Why does Allah have more than 99 names?
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has many, many more names than 99 names.
It's just that people on earth only know 99, but I want to know why he has more.
Because Allah is forever. No beginning, no end. So his attributes don't end. They're all forever. But we know, even on earth, we don't only know 99 names. We know much more. I'll give you the book. There's a book here that has maybe 260 names of Allah. So someone asked about the name of the book. It's called the Names and Attributes of Allah. So why does he have so many names? Okay. So what's your name, Mikael?
Mikael Galam.
Alright, so why do you have 3 names?
Because I don't live that long, probably. Because maybe I might die young.
What?
Why did I die young?
What's it got to do with you dying? Why do you have 3 names? Oh, because you don't live that long, because Allah is forever.
Yeah, because,
Oh, wow.
because
Look at the
I
mind of a
might
child,
die
subhanAllah.
when I'm only like a teenager. Or
Yeah,
maybe
give you-
28.
May Allah give you a long life.
Or maybe
Ameen.
39.
Ameen.
Or maybe 40, 50.
Okay, well, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has many, many names, many attributes, but my name is Jalal. His name is Mikael. Your name is Suhaib, Suhail, Aisha, whatever. Everyone has a name. But Allah doesn't have a name. It's not a name. It's a description. You cannot put a name on Allah. Hey, listen, this is your question. Sit up properly and attentively. Give respect to the question. Show it respect that you really want to learn. Show me you really want to understand. Otherwise, it won't stay in your head. It'll go in one ear, come out the other. Stop playing with your thing, your scarf there, and just sit there and think. Listen, let this go inside your brain, and you know what will happen? It will trigger another question. If you really let it go inside your brain, it will trigger more questions. So number 1, Allah does not have a name. Because when we say Allah, this is how he told us to call upon him. We say Allah as a prayer, as calling upon him, the God, the Lord. So what is Allah's name? If I had to name something, it means that. A table cannot be a lamp. The table's name is table. And that's all it can do is serve the purpose of a table. Mikael is Mikael, and it can only serve the purpose of Mikael. Jalal is Jalal, and I can only serve the purpose of Jalal. Allah is limitless. He is not limited by anything, and his purposes are many, and he achieves everything, which is why anything and everything you can think of, He has an attribute because he also does it. Allah is great, so he is Al-Kabir. He is not just great, he is the greatest. Allah is one, so he is Al-Ahad. He is not Wahid, he is Ahad. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't die. He lives forever, so he is Al-Hayy.
What's the difference between Ahad and
Wahid?
Yeah.
Boom, he's listening. You see what happens when you listen? When you stop playing and fidgeting and moving and you actually think, what is he saying? More questions. And that is a very good question. Can you hold on to that, please? Don't forget, because that is a very powerful question. Why is Allah Ahad, not Wahid? We'll talk about that later. So first, Allah is living forever. So how do you say Kabir is living forever? And he is not Kabir. He is Al-Kabir. But Al-Kabir means great. And he is the greatest. So he is not ever living? Yes, he is. So he is Al-Hayy. He is Al-Qayyum, which means he doesn't need anything from anyone. He has everything for himself. That's another name. Oh wait, someone needs help. He is the one who sustains. He goes and sustains. Someone has been harmed and the enemy must be dealt with. He is the avenger, Al-Muntaqim. What else does he do? What else does Allah do? He gives me all my food, my air, my oxygen, my health, my life. He is Ar-Razaq. Al-Kabir doesn't do that. Ar-Razaq does that. Oh, he loves me so much. He loves us. He is Al-Wadud. He is the most loving. And by the way, Eliza asked, what does Allah look like? But when you see Allah, how are you going to feel? When you actually see the face of Allah, how will you feel?
like
Is mom,
like you're gonna die.
like you're going to be like, it's amazing, right? That is exactly how you will feel. And he is Al-Qahhar. He is irresistible. You cannot resist him. He is beautiful. He is Al-Jamil, the most beautiful.
Jameel is like Jamal.
Yeah, like Jamal. So Jamal is camel. Jamal. So moving on. He is Al-Jalal. He is the mighty majestic. So he has many attributes, many names, because Allah is many things. But we say name. Allah doesn't have a name because Allah is not limited to one thing like we are. Why do we need a name? How many people in this room? 1, 2, 3, 4, right?
5.
5, okay? 5 people, right? So if there's 5 people, can we all have the exact same name?
No.
What if we all had the exact same name? And I said Abdullah, and all 5 people would be like, what? Right? So when you call upon Allah, you can call upon many names in any way you need. So if you need Allah to avenge you, you don't say Ar-Rahman, avenge me. Because Ar-Rahman means, oh merciful one. So he is the most merciful.
Ar-Rahim?
Ar-Rahim means help me even more, give me more. Ar-Razaq is the one who provides me with wealth.
Al-Alim?
Al-Muttaqim is the one who will avenge you. Al-Alim is the one who knows all, everything. So Allah has so many attributes for this reason. That's good. You know a lot of names. Al-Quddus. Do you know another name? Let's do that. Let's have a little competition. Let's see who runs out of names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
There's a question that comes with this. It
Okay,
says, what is the best way to memorize the name of Allah? The names of Allah.
What is the best way to memorize the names of Allah? Come on, Mikhail.
By reading all those books. Not those ones, those ones.
Okay. Which ones?
Those ones!
No.
All right, not now. Okay, thank you. So yeah, those books. All right.
The red ones.
So the best way to memorize the names of Allah Azza wa Jal is to use them for their intended purposes. So every day, I need Allah's help. So which name should I use? So you read through the books, you find the names of attributes, read the definitions, and you pick the one that applies to you. And you pick that one and you say, oh, this name. You call upon Allah by that name. Next time you need more money, you ask upon Ar-Razaq. Next time you need forgiveness, you ask Al-Ghafur. But then wait, you don't want just forgiveness. You never want to face that sin again. So you call upon Al-Afu. You see? Al-Ghafur, forgive me. Al-Afu, erase it. So you learn about the different names of Allah, and the best way to memorize them is by reading the translation, the name, what it's intended for, and then use it for that purpose. That is the best way to memorize the names of Allah, because from your life, from birth to death, you will use many attributes of Allah in your life, because you will always need Him throughout. Allah knows best.
Okay, another question is, what are the minor signs of the Day of Judgment? This is a whole topic. So maybe what are the minor signs of the Day of Judgment?
What are the minor signs of the Day of Judgment? This is a massive lecture another time, but I will tell you just a couple. Minor signs are things like.
Why don't you talk about the couple that we're actually experiencing now?
I know one
To
sign.
make it a bit more relevant.
I know 3 signs.
Okay, well, you gotta sit still. You can't keep kicking. Go on.
At the beginning of how people will know that the Day of Judgment will come is there'll be a loud trumpet that the whole world will hear it, and in the middle of the Day of Judgment there'll be another one, and the whole world will hear it, and then there'll be a last one when the Day of Judgment is finished, and everybody in the world will hear it.
That's not a sign. That is the Day of Judgment. So that's not a sign of the Day of Judgment. That is the beginning and into the Day of Judgment. Hold on. No, but that's it. Hold the thought. Ad-Dajjal is a major sign of the Day of Judgment. It's not a minor sign.
What's a minor sign?
Minor signs of the Day of Judgment are things like the Prophet ﷺ said, people will be naked. People will be dressed, but they will appear naked. Which means the way people wear clothes, very tight-fitted, see-through, that kind of thing, these kind of things will harm us badly. So he says that, basically that's how he explains it, that people wear clothes, they'll be very tight-fitted or see-through, etc. So it's not very good.
Okay.
Another minor sign is today's sickness. Earthquakes will increase, famine will increase, and diseases, plagues will increase. And these are all minor signs of the Day of Judgment. I love this vest, mashallah. Okay, so, yeah, go on.
Do you want another question?
Yeah, go on. I was going to answer Mickey's, but we can answer that later. Go on.
Okay, the next question is it permissible to ask Allah to guide disbelievers, non-Muslims, to Islam and righteousness?
Is it permissible to pray to Allah and ask Allah to guide our disbelieving neighbors and other people, to guide them to Islam and to righteousness? This is an obligation upon Muslims. We have to pray for the disbelievers. Someone said to me, oh, you just want to convert me to Islam. And I said, no, I don't convert. It's up to Allah. But you're right. I do want Islam for you. It's like, I truly love you. If I care for you, I want what's best for you. I believe Islam is best. If you think Islam is not best, then come discuss it with me and tell me how. If you think you have a better way of life, tell me how. And let's have these discussions until either I come to your religion or you come to mine. And let's face it, there is nothing but the truth. The truth is the best thing out there. So it's important to always pray for them that Allah guide them, because ultimately, no matter how much we answer questions and we deal with those things, they are going to always ask us questions. They're always going to, how can I put this? Really, there's no nice way to put it, but we should always pray for them, aside from the questions, because they're not always going to do the job as it says, as it means. So we want to pray for them as much as possible, inshallah, all right?
Okay. Will all children that haven't hit puberty go to Jannah even if they were bad? Mikhail, what do you think?
Will all children who are still small, will they go to Jannah even if they were bad? They will. All children will go to heaven, will go to Jannah, even if they're naughty.
What do you think? Yeah, even if they were naughty. Eliza, what do you think?
Do you think naughty children will go to Jannah?
No.
How many cookies is that you've eaten now? Your second.
Yes.
Feels like you just keep eating. Okay, so the answer to that question is, there's two answers. I've read evidences that say yes, they will all go to paradise. And those evidences are speaking mainly about children, because they have Islam in them. Every child is born pure upon the fitrah. They believe in Allah, they believe in one God, don't they? Don't every single child believe in one God? Yeah. You believe in Allah, don't you? You see, it's just natural. It's natural for every child to believe. But let's say when they get older, they're going to go astray, or they're going to be an evil person like a Hitler or something, something really disgusting, something evil, or like an Abu Jahl, or like the many of the evil people of Earth today. Let's say they died young. they didn't get to be that old. Allah knows what they would have done. So sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saves the future from that disaster, but Allah knows what those people would have done. So there are children that may have been very evil, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just chose not to let them live and not to let them do the evil, and took their souls. And they will go to Jahannam because of what they were going to do. And or they will be given a test on the Day of Judgment, especially people who never heard about Islam, or children that never got a chance to grow up to decide for themselves. On the Day of Judgment, they will be given a final test, and some of them will pass the test and some of them will fail the test. So Allah is very just and merciful, and He will give that option to everyone, inshallah. Okay?
Next question is, if humans are misguided by shaitan, then what is shaitan and other jinns misguided by?
Sorry?
So if humans are misguided by shaitan, so shaitan makes humans do bad things, then what is shaitan and other jinns misguided by? Why do shaitans and jinns do bad things if they're the ones that cause humans to do bad things?
I would say they have their own shaitan. And they have their own iblis as well. And in fact, today, the shaitan not only misguides humans, the shaitan today also misguides jinn. And sometimes bullies them. Having said that, at the same time, long before shaitan was our shaitan, he was iblis, and he was pious, and he was righteous. He was a Muslim, a very strong believer. So what happened? And the jinn used to do haram before that as well, before man even existed. So who was misguiding them? The reality is, it's not that shaitan is misguiding you. It's your desires that are misguiding you. Shaitan, the only thing he has power to do is to whisper and tempt you and confuse you. That's all he can do. But really, it's your desires that tell you, I want. And then it's you that decides, I'm going to feed you, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. Every human being has two wolves in their body. This is an Arabic parable. Every human being has two wolves in the soul. One wolf always wants to feed the desires and eat and enjoy and play. The other wolf wants to do pious and righteous deeds. So every time this wolf says, I want, this wolf says, I want. So who are you going to listen to? Are you going to feed the desire wolf? Yes, I want. Yes, I want. Yes, I want. Yes, I want. So before you know it, your piety is very skinny and weak because he hasn't eaten. But the wolf that is fed very well will be strong, and that'll be your desires. So your desires wolf will kill your piety wolf. So it's important to do as many good deeds as you can, inshallah. You got another question, Mickey?
Yes, I do.
Go on.
Can we learn the other books that other people have changed from Allah?
Can we learn the other books of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? What are they? They are the
Bible.
Suhuf Ibrahim, the scrolls of Abraham. The Torah of Musa alayhi salam, the Injil of Isa alayhi salam, but there's the Zabur of Dawood alayhi salam. So there are 4 other books.
What about the books they didn't know what the book?
Huh? No. No, the books were only to Dawood alayhi salam, which is the Zabur, the Suhuf of Ibrahim, the scrolls, the Torah of Musa alayhi salam, and the Injil of Jesus Christ, Isa alayhi salam. And then we have the Quran. So there are 5 books of Allah. Can we read them? Absolutely. Sure you can. But the problem is, as you said in your question, people have changed it. So if somebody changes the book of Allah, do you really want to be confused by it? I mean, if you want to study to see what they're saying so you can discuss things, that's fine. But just keep in mind, it's no longer the book of Allah. If you want to know what the Zabur says, the Injil says, the Torah says, and the Suhuf of Ibrahim say, if you want to know what the other 4 books said, read the Quran, because it has all of them in it. That was the whole point of the Quran. So every few generations, Allah revealed a new messenger with a new message, with a little bit more. But then the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ came the complete volume, the entire message from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the Quran has all the stories that we need in it. But if you want to study the other books, absolutely, sure you can. Allah knows best. Yeah?
Okay, so we have one more question
Okay.
before we close. What is the best of dawah in this situation of lockdown? It's not really a kid question, but
What is the best form of da'wah in lockdown?
we teach your
Put on
kids.
your mask. Huh? What'd you say?
Probably teaching your family.
Well, I think there's two things actually, because we always wanted time off. We're like, oh, I never get time to learn. I never get time to pray my duha. I never get time to wake up for tahajjud. I have to work early, so I miss fajr. It's time to do all of those things that you always made excuses for. So that's number one, fixing yourselves and your families, so that when this is over, you come out much better Muslims for the world. This is like the itikaf of Ramadan. It's an opportunity here. Number two, to make da'wah though, it's very important. Put your face mask on, put your gloves on, go knock on every door. Keep your distance away from the door, but go knock and ask them for their phone number and their name. Make sure you have everyone's contact details. Throw a little slip of paper through the letterbox if they don't answer it, and it says, my name is Jalal, and here's my phone number. Call me if you like. Text me at least, so every once in a while I can check on you, and you can check on me, so we know how everyone's doing during this time of crisis. Because if anyone of our neighbors gets sick, they might want some help, won't they? Wow, you have to do that. So it's a great opportunity to get to know them. Call them up daily, once a week, once every other week, and just ask them how they're doing and ask them what you can do for them, and so on and so forth. So I hope that answers your question.
Sure.
I'll give you my number quickly, by the way. Everyone, can you please drop me a text message so we can keep you notified? Say it.
The beginning is 184.
That's the ending, buddy. It's +44 if you're in another country. +44 7958 183 184. That's 07958 183 184. I will finish with Mikhail's last question. He said, why is Allah Ahad and not Wahid? Okay. So.
What is Ahad? No, it wasn't that. It was, what's the difference between
Yeah,
Ahad
same. What is the difference? So the difference between Ahad and Wahid. So, Wahid in Arabic is one. So what is Ahad?
Single.
No.
One.
No. It is one, but it's not like one. It's more than that. So, Wahid is one, but Ahad is indivisible one. You see, the number one.
Do you know what that means? Do you know what indivisible means?
Like, two, you can divide it into two. So when you divide 2 into 2, what do you get? You get 1, 1, right? 1 plus 1 equals 2, correct?
Obviously, you can't split one.
Yes, you can. Can I have a piece of paper? Give me that piece of paper, that green cover.
No.
Just give me that, yeah. That'll do. Okay, look. So how many of these are in my hand right now?
One.
1, yeah? How many do I have now?
2.
Right, so let's get rid of 1. Now I've got 2 halves, right? So there's 2 of them. Now how many of this do I have? 1. How many do I have now?
2.
2. How many do I have now?
1.
1. How many do I have now?
2.
No, I had 2. But how many do I have now?
1.
1. 2. How many do I have now?
1.
1. 2. How many do I have now?
1.
2. How many do I have now?
1.
2. How many do I have now?
1.
1. Okay. So Wahid is like that. It's divisible over and over and over. So 1 divided by, split up like that becomes 0.5. Divided again becomes 0.25. Divided again it becomes 12.5. 0.125. And it keeps going on like that. You can divide again and again and again and again and again. Okay. Ahad in Arabic is not Wahid. So in English, there is no word for Ahad. In English, there is just 1. But in Arabic, you have Ahad. This is why Allah says in the Quran, Qulhu, tell them, say to them, Allahu Ahad. Allah is Ahad. So people say, tell people there's only one God. No, because one can be divided into many gods. But Allah is Ahad God. And there's no English word for Ahad. Because it's a powerful, powerful word. Ahad. It's almost finished. Come to say goodbye. Come here. Come to say goodbye. All right, guys. So quick shout out to everyone. Please consider donating to the Dawah, the brothers and sisters of Al-Fitra and the Eid Celebration Committee. We have a lot planned for you guys this year, inshallah. We're still planning. Everything's still put into place. Because after this is all over, everyone's going to want to have a lot of fun. Wave at that one too. Wave at that one too. Wave
Say
at all
salam
of
to
them.
everyone.
Say salam alaikum to everyone, Eliza.
Assalamu
And
alaikum.
Mikhail.
Assalamu alaikum.
So please make contribution.
Assalamu alaikum.
How do you make a contribution? Drop me a message right now, please. If just 50 people gave £10 each, that's the day sorted. Or 10 people gave £50 each. or 5 people gave £100 each. I just want to raise £500 a day towards the dawah for the next few days until Ramadan gets here. We have to hurry up and try to raise as much funds as we can, because in Ramadan there's a lot to do. So please make a contribution and make this your sadaqah jariyah. But also help me, don't be lazy. For the love of God, don't be lazy. We all have an obligation to da'wah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So everyone, please ask your friends, your neighbors, raise 5-10 pounds yourself. So tomorrow's lesson, Monday's lesson, you're ready with the donation. Go collect from other people and then click on the link I'm going to give you and you can make that donation. So I'll send you the link, inshallah, where you can donate towards the charity. Fi amanillah. Assalamu alaikum. Oh, wait, one last thing. Please follow us on Instagram and join us on YouTube, inshallah. Okay? Al-Fitra Academy on YouTube, Jalal_Mahabbat on Instagram, and Jalal Ibn Saeed on Facebook. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.